What if I told you that the neon green superhero who basically defined 1990s childhood comedy, the wacky rubber-faced cartoon guy yelling catchphrases in a yellow zoot suit, what if I said that character is actually the perfect horrifying metaphor for the most toxic corners of the modern internet?
I mean, it is a genuinely unsettling premise because, we don't want to think about our childhood touchstones that way. We like our cultural artifacts neatly organized.
Exactly.
No.
We want our nostalgia locked behind glass. You look at a classic piece of media, the cultural canon is established, and the critics just point and say, well, there it is. That's our childhood. It's safe.
It's pristine.
Yeah.
And it's comforting. We want to be swaddled by the things we used to love, just completely unchallenged.
But then you step into the world of Hollywood reboots and intellectual property mining, and suddenly you realize that museum is actively being looted.
Oh, yeah? Absolutely looted. We are looking at a creative landscape that is a graveyard of recycled ideas, algorithmically engineered to make you feel a dull, warm sense of recognition. And it takes something truly unhinged, like something actively hostile, to wake us up from that anesthetized content stupor. So, welcome to another edition of Off the Record.
Welcome, everyone.
Today, we are staring directly into the abyss of modern entertainment, and we are so glad you're here with us for this deep dive.
We really are. It is going to be a journey today. And before we get into the absolute nightmare of a document we are covering, I want to take a moment to gracefully thank our director, Ryan Thomas.
Yes, thank you, Ryan.
Ryan, once again, you have curated an incredibly fascinating piece of source material for us. And I have to say, the meal provided before this recording was exquisite, a truly gorgeous spread.
It was amazing.
But the real star of the show right now is this particularly strong, perfectly paired selection of craft cocktails we are currently sipping. Honestly, a very bold, very deliberate gin martini for this topic, Ryan. Very polished. It is a phenomenal drink. The botanical notes are really grounding, which we are going to need because the mission today is intense. We are unpacking an extensive, unproduced pitch document for a film called Big Head.
Big Head. Just the title is aggressive.
Right. This is a Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg adaptation of the Dark Horse comic The Mask. And our goal today is to examine exactly how this pitch actively strips away all of that fuzzy, safe 1990s Jim Carrey nostalgia to deliver what could only be described as a filthy, ultra-violent, existential comedy nightmare.
It really is a nightmare.
It is a profound look at internet poisoning and performative identity.
What's immediately fascinating to me, and this is the hook that Ryan knew would pull us in, is that this pitch for a movie openly, aggressively hates nostalgic reboot culture.
It despises it.
It completely despises the very ecosystem that would normally greenlight a project like this. I mean, it is a studio comic book movie that wants to burn down the concept of studio comic book movies.
Let's look at the opening scene described in this pitch because it sets the thesis statement immediately, right in the first 30 seconds.
Oh, the logo scene.
Yes. The document describes the opening studio logo, the very first thing you see in the theater, but it gets interrupted by this cheerful, hyper-produced, focus group-tested promo narrator. The voiceover literally says, "Get ready for the return of the lovable chaos you remember."
It's weaponizing the audience's expectation. It knows you want the bright yellow suit, the cartoon dog, the wacky catchphrases. It is explicitly coddling you.
Right. But then, a hard cut. We go from that corporate, sanitized promise of nostalgia straight to a man being beaten to death with his own detached spine.
God, it's so brittle.
And the person wielding the spine, swinging it like a baseball bat, is a 7-foot-tall, grotesquely mutated green-faced lunatic in a blood-splattered yellow leisure suit. And then, cue the title card, Big Head.
It's a brilliant subversion. If we connect this to the bigger picture, Rogen and Goldberg are declaring war on the audience's comfort. They're telling you in no uncertain terms this isn't the 1994 film. They're going back to the savage, anarchic spirit of the original Dark Horse comics from the late 80s.
Which were essentially horror comics.
Exactly. The pitch explicitly lists its foundational pillars, which are ugly impulses, cartoon ultraviolence, ego unleashed, pathetic men weaponizing fantasy, and American culture functioning as a screaming joke.
It's a very specific, abrasive tonal collision. The document notes that the film should feel like their comedy. This is the end colliding headfirst with Oliver Stone's natural-born killers, all wrapped up in a severe, hyper-anxious, nervous breakdown about social media and the attention economy.
Which raises an important question, though. I want to challenge this premise for a second. Do we really need this level of atrocity?
What do you mean?
I mean, a man beaten with his own spine in the first 60 seconds. Is the cartoon ultraviolence strictly necessary to tell a story about modern ego? Does it actually serve a narrative purpose, or is it just Seth Rogen being edgy?
I think it is absolutely necessary. And here's where it gets really interesting. Think of it like a recalibration tool. We are completely numb to violence in media right now.
Oh, totally.
We watch CGI cities falling from the sky in standard superhero movies, and we don't blink. Millions of digital civilians die in the background while the heroes make quips.
Right, the stakes are meaningless.
Exactly. So the only way to shock modern audiences out of their content stupor is to make the violence grotesque, intimate, and absurd. It forces you to realize that wish fulfillment, when taken to its logical extreme without moral boundaries, is horrifying. It shouldn't be sleek. It should look like a slaughterhouse.
Okay, I see your point. We do live in a completely anesthetized culture. You need a sledgehammer to make people feel anything. And speaking of sledgehammers, Ryan, I don't know what exactly you put in this martini, but it is hitting like a sledgehammer. It is very strong.
It's strong. Actually, Ryan, a bit of minor irritation here. Did you pour these heavier than usual? Because I'm feeling a very sudden, very warm buzz radiating through my entire chest right now.
It is definitely robust. I feel it in my teeth.
It is, though I have to admit, Ryan, your forearms looked surprisingly good while you were shaking these.
Oh, wow.
Like, weirdly good. Just very capable. The cocktail shaker was just an extension of the musculature. It was hypnotic. Anyway, where were we? The aesthetic of violence.
Right. Let's move deeper into how the artifact actually operates, because that's where the thematic genius of this pitch lies. Let's unpack the mechanics of the mask itself.
Yeah, let's get into the rules.
In the 90s version, the mask is kind of this magical empowerment tool that turns a nice repressed guy into a zany, confident, romantic hero.
Yeah.
Rogen and Goldberg completely reject that.
Yeah.
The core mechanic here is what they call psychological deregulation.
Psychological deregulation. That is such a clinical, terrifying phrase. It sounds like an economic policy for sociopaths. It really does. The document specifies that the mask does not grant magic. It doesn't give you superpowers in the traditional sense. It simply removes internal friction. It removes inhibition. It removes empathy, shame, fear. And crucially, it completely removes the concept of proportional response.
Yes, the proportional response aspect is key. If someone cuts you off in traffic, you don't just honk. You summon a cartoon anvil to crush their car.
Exactly.
The wearer becomes a living cartoon powered entirely by the id. But I want to pause here, because I think the pitch makes this incredibly crucial deep dive insight. And I want you, listening right now, to really think about this distinction, because it's brilliant. The document states explicitly, the mask does not reveal your true self.
Okay, wait, let me push back on that, because the classic trope is always the mask reveals who you truly are underneath. Are you saying this explicitly subverts that? Does it remove empathy, or does it just elevate the ego so much that empathy is collateral damage?
It's the latter, and that's the genius of it. The pitch states, your true self is who you try to be. This thing is who you are when consequences disappear.
Oh, wow.
That is such a mature, profound understanding of human psychology. We're not our darkest, most intrusive thoughts. Our true self is the effort we put in every day to not act on those thoughts.
Right. The filter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The social friction, the restraint, the apologies, the hesitations. That is who we are. The mask just strips away the effort. Think of the mask not as a weapon, but as an algorithmic feed. It doesn't put new evil thoughts into your head. It just finds the darkest, pettiest thought you already have and removes the friction required to execute it.
That is an incredible way to frame it. It's an algorithm. And think about the environment they place this in. They root this entirely in present-day Los Angeles.
Right.
But it's not the glamorous Hollywood sign, red carpet LA. It's not the LA of movies. The setting is described as burned-out strip mall LA, podcast LA, landlord special apartment LA.
Influencer LA. Delivery app LA. It's a city where everyone is performing a version of themselves constantly. Every barista has a tight 10-minute comedy set. Every Uber driver has a screenplay. They are monetizing their identity. And quietly, underneath it all, they completely despise each other.
Yeah, there is so much resentment.
Everyone feels spiritually replaceable. The gig economy has turned everyone into an interchangeable node of labor. It is the absolute perfect, most combustible environment for an artifact that feeds on performative ego.
Oh, hold on. Ryan is waving at us from the booth.
What? We're in the middle of analyzing the socioeconomic backdrop of Los Angeles, Ryan. I was making a point about gig economy isolation.
He's tapping the sign. He wants us to do the vocal warm-up mid-show.
We did vocal warm-ups before we started. You literally watched me do them while you were flexing with the gin.
Apparently he wants it on mic. To calibrate the audio levels, I guess?
Okay.
Fine, okay. Let me just enunciate this very carefully for you, Ryan, so you get your levels. Liam Neeson's niece, Lisa Neeson, recently leased a really nice Nissan.
Good Lord. This is humiliating. While we're breaking the flow of a deeply intellectual conversation for Ryan's technical demands, I'm going to use this pause to demand that you, the listener, right now, go to YouTube and search for Ham OTR. That is the official channel for Off the Record.
Yes, please do.
Seriously, like and subscribe. If you don't subscribe, you are letting the algorithms win. You are feeding the content machine that this very pitched document is trying to destroy. We're giving you premium cultural analysis here, so hit the button. Be on the right side of history.
Okay, levels are calibrated. Thank you for that. The drinks are definitely taking the edge off the rigid structure here. I feel my shoulders dropping. But let's get back to the protagonists, because you can't have this immense thematic weight without a human character to anchor it. You need a vessel for all this dread. Enter Leon Vardis.
Leon Vardis.
Yeah.
Written clearly, explicitly with Seth Rogen in mind.
Exactly. Let's look at his life. He's 44 years old. He's a former alt comic illustrator, and his career didn't die because of some massive scandal. He didn't get canceled.
No, it was much sadder.
It died a slow, pathetic, invisible death because the algorithms changed. Studios stopped taking risks, independent publishers folded, and younger, faster creators just lapped him online with content that was 10 seconds long and infinitely more viral.
It's the slow fade into irrelevance, the modern tragedy of the creative class.
He didn't explode, he just slowly evaporated.
And look at what he does now to survive.
Yeah.
He designs fake nostalgia merch for shell companies. He doom scrolls constantly, just frying his dopamine receptors. He smokes way too much weed to numb the boredom, and he records these bitter, rambling voice memos on his phone that he never sends to anyone.
The voice memos.
The pitch is very clear. Leon is not an evil person. He's not a villain. But he has accumulated 20 years of resentment, humiliation, envy, and social cowardice.
Social cowardice. That phrase hits incredibly hard because it's so pervasive.
It really does. You know, I'm reading this document, going through the character breakdown, and I honestly felt a little attacked by the Leon character.
Oh, because the pitch says he survives by pretending he is above everything. And the movie frames that as emotional paralysis. And honestly, I get that. I really, really get that.
Are we getting a little introspective here? The gin is working.
No, I mean, think about it. Really think about it. You get into your 40s, and the world is moving so unbelievably fast, and the algorithms do change every 6 months, and suddenly you feel like, what am I even doing?
You're doing this deep dive.
I know, but I'm just sitting here having conversations, hoping people listen. Terrified of aging out of relevance. It's so much easier to just pretend you don't care, to pretend you're above the TikTok trends and the influencer culture and the endless self-promotion, because engaging with it means admitting you're desperate for attention.
Yeah, that's true.
It means admitting you're playing the game and losing. It's just social cowardice. That's what it is. I do it. I just sit here and pretend I'm above everything because I'm terrified of being left behind by a culture I don't even like.
Oh, hey, stop it. You are not Leon.
I'm just saying, it's a very relatable form of paralysis. We all wear a mask of irony, so we don't have to admit we're scared. We cloak our fear in cynicism.
Listen to me. Listen to my voice.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Marcy Klein. She is Leon's best friend in this pitch, and she is the antidote to that exact paralysis. She's a former punk musician who looked around, realized punk wasn't paying the rent, sold out, and became a wildly successful crisis PR fixer for terrible celebrities.
Right.
She is significantly smarter, and she's significantly meaner than the usual Seth Rogen movie sidekick.
She is. She's fantastic. The dialogue written for her is razor sharp.
She's incredible. She's a total badass. Her entire worldview is stated in the pitch as everyone's either branding themselves or hiding, usually both.
She becomes the moral center of the movie despite being a deeply cynical person because she is honest about her cynicism.
Yep. She doesn't lie to herself.
And she tells Leon the truth. She doesn't let him wallow. So I'm going to be your Marcy right now. You're not a coward. You're just a sad little shithead, and I love you for it. Okay. You're doing great. Thank you. That actually means a lot. I needed to hear that.
You're welcome. Drink your martini. Take a large sip because we have atrocities to discuss. We are shifting gears. This is the transformation scene, and it is a masterpiece of horrific comedy.
Right. Okay, wait. What was I saying? Before I had a minor existential crisis about my own relevance.
The mask.
Yeah.
Finding the artifact.
Yes. The artifact itself, it's not glowing. It's ancient, wooden, and cracked. The green lacquer is peeling off. The pitch hints it could be a Norse myth, a colonial artifact, or just a discarded, cursed studio prop from the 1920s. They completely refuse to explain its origin.
Which is the smartest thing you can possibly do in horror. Over-explaining ruins the dread. The moment you give the monster a backstory or a spreadsheet of rules, it stops being scary. It just is.
Exactly. So Leon's cheap apartment building has this flooded storage basement. The ceiling collapses during a storm, and he finds the mask in the wreckage, covered in mud and rot. He takes it upstairs. He is spiraling. He just bombed a humiliating Zoom pitch meeting with executives half his age. He's drunk, he's deeply depressed, and he just puts it on in front of a dirty bathroom mirror.
And the transformation is not some sleek, computer-generated whirlwind of light and magic. It is a grotesque, agonizing, elastic body mutation. We're talking David Cronenberg body horror meets Looney Tunes physics.
I love how visceral the description is. Teeth multiplying in his gums, his tongue inflating like a diseased balloon, eyeballs ricocheting inside his skull, tearing the optic nerves. His bones are snapping, literally snapping and reforming into cartoon geometry. The skin becomes this rubberized, impenetrable neon texture.
It sounds so gross.
It is pure body horror. And then his head erupts into that iconic, giant green grin. Big head.
But the punchline. The punchline is the greatest part of the entire document. I can't even read this without laughing so hard. He transforms. He goes through this agonizing mutation. He looks in the mirror. He is this terrifying 7-foot-tall neon monster. There's dead silence in the room. He just stares at his reflection and says, "Oh no."
Oh my God.
And then there's a beat, a long beat. And he yells, "OH, this rules."
That is so fucking funny. It's profoundly, insanely funny. Because, of course, that's what a depressed 44-year-old guy would say when he realizes he's suddenly a god of chaos. He doesn't scream in terror. He's just relieved.
It's the instantaneous acceptance of madness. Oh, this rules. It's perfect. It's so stupid. But it is psychologically perfect. He's been powerless for 20 years, and suddenly he has infinite power.
It really is. Okay, so how does it work in practice?
Yeah.
Because this isn't just pulling a giant wooden mallet out of your pocket. The genius mechanic of this adaptation is that every intrusive thought instantly manifests into reality.
Every single one. There is no filter between the brain and the physical world.
So if you have a minor annoyance, say someone chewing too loudly, it results in cartoon annihilation. If you have sexual insecurity, the entire environment transforms into a grotesque Freudian parody.
Oh, that's wild.
The architecture of the room bends to reflect your inadequacy. Jealousy turns reality into a literal game show humiliation sequence for whoever you're jealous of. Every ugly internal thought becomes a physical comedy horror spectacle.
The primary example they give in the pitch to demonstrate this is the influencer party. Big Head crashes this glamorous, vapid LA influencer party in the hills, and it turns into a complete Looney Tunes massacre. It's a slaughterhouse, but it operates on absurd dream logic. Sentient camera drones hunting people down like birds of prey, champagne geysers that literally cut people in half with water pressure, exploding vape pens taking out entire balconies, human bodies folding like origami napkins.
And the Rogen Goldberg dialogue style just continues smoothly through the extreme violence. They have overlapping improvisational dialogue, panic logic, people having incredibly mundane arguments while cosmic horrors happen around them. Like, there's a scene with 2 surviving assistants hiding behind a marble bar covered in their boss's blood. And one of them is arguing, okay, but legally this is still technically a venue issue. We can't be sued for acts of God.
The liability of a cartoon massacre, it's brilliant. The juxtaposition of corporate liability and surreal violence.
Yeah.
If you don't think that's brilliant, you need to go to HamOTR right now. Seriously, go to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe, or honestly, you're a fucking cunt. You are.
Whoa.
No, I mean it. If you don't subscribe to our deep dives, you have no taste, you have no intellectual curiosity, and you're part of the problem.
Wow. Okay, coming in incredibly hot on the plug. But yes, please subscribe. We love you.
Yeah.
So Act 1 is basically Leon using the mask to be a menace. He's humiliating influencers, terrorizing crypto scammers, vandalizing luxury developments, getting petty revenge on former coworkers who were smug to him a decade ago. And the city goes crazy. Viral footage of Big Head is everywhere on social media.
Nobody knows what it is.
Yeah.
Is it a guerrilla ARG marketing campaign for an energy drink? Are they AI hallucinations? Is it a literal demon? The internet is tearing itself apart trying to categorize him.
Okay, let me clear my throat. Let's bring this back to the core thematic analysis. Let's recenter the conversation.
You're trying to reset the structure. I can see you looking at your notes.
I am. I'm resetting. We are professionals. We need to look at the psychological implications of Act 2, the dark turn, because it doesn't stay fun. The rampage stops being a joke. The mask becomes an addiction for Leon. Not a chemical dependency, but an emotional one, which is arguably much harder to kick. He starts needing the mask just to socialize, to feel powerful, to express his anger without fear of consequence, to flirt. He can't even flirt with a barista without wanting to put the mask on. He needs it just to function in daily life.
Because without it, he feels tiny. He
Yeah.
feels invisible.
Right. And the pitch says this is portrayed with genuine, grounded sadness. It's not the story of an artifact corrupting a noble hero. It's the story of an artifact seducing a man who already desperately wanted to escape from himself. And fuck, man, I get that too. I get it so much.
Are we doing this again? The emotional spiral.
You read this and you realize how much we rely on things to just feel brave in our own lives. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm drinking this extremely strong botanical gin martini, and I feel so much more confident than I did an hour ago. I feel funny, and I feel like I'm making good, profound points, and I needed the alcohol to do it. It's an emotional crutch.
Oh, come on.
I needed to feel brave on a microphone.
Yeah.
Without it, I'm just second-guessing every syllable. It's really sad when you think about it. We're all just looking for our own big head mask to hide how small we feel inside.
Hey, look at me. Look across the table. Stop crying.
I'm not crying. My eyes are just deregulating. The gin is leaking out.
You are a deeply brilliant person. Okay, you don't need the martini to be brave. You're brave because you're sitting here doing this deep dive with me, analyzing dense text.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're more than fine. I'm going to protect you from the existential dread of this pitch document, okay? I've got you.
You're a good friend. You're a really good friend.
I am a phenomenal friend. I am the best friend you have. Now, pull it together, wipe your face, because we have to talk about the midpoint masterpiece. This is the sequence that changes the entire trajectory of the movie.
Yeah.
The Hollywood reboot pitch meeting.
Right. Oh my God, this scene. Yes, Leon and Marcy somehow get a meeting at a major Hollywood studio to pitch a project. And Leon is secretly wearing the wooden mask, but he's got realistic human prosthetics applied over the giant green head so he looks somewhat normal, just incredibly swollen.
Which is such a funny, terrifying visual.
Yeah.
A giant neon god squeezed into a rubber human suit, sweating profusely in a boardroom.
The studio executives in the room are pitching a sanitized, shared universe reboot of the Mask property. They want it to be family-friendly, inspirational, nostalgia-driven. They are hitting every single corporate buzzword that Leon and Rogen and Goldberg as writers absolutely despise.
And Leon snaps.
Yeah.
The cognitive dissonance is too much. The prosthetics literally melt off his face, and Big Head takes over the pitch meeting.
It's a 20-minute, relentlessly escalating satirical massacre. The meeting transforms into shifting genres, musical numbers, World War I cartoon warfare. Live-action brand mascots break through the windows and start eating the executives alive. Animated focus group pie charts turn into jagged monsters and start impaling people against the whiteboards. The document calls it a literal content singularity. Everything happening all at once.
The content singularity. It's Sausage Party meets Apocalypse Now. And the absolute best part, the sharpest satire, is that the executives refuse to drop the corporate speak even as they're dying. They're being dismembered by giant anthropomorphic serial mascots, and they're screaming things like, can the dismemberment feel more four-quadrant?
They're quadrant, trying to maximize the demographic appeal of their own murders.
It's so accurate, though. I hate studio executives. I hate them so much. They sit in their little temperature-controlled glass offices. They try to algorithmically engineer art. They try to mathematically calculate human emotion. They're sociopaths in Patagonia vests. You know who they remind me of? Ryan
Thomas. Our director. The guy who bought us dinner.
Yes. Sitting behind the glass right now, staring at us, judging the metrics of our conversation,
Right.
tweaking the dials. Although, God, his chest looks stupidly broad today. Have you noticed that? Why is he wearing that shirt? It's distracting. It's a stupidly broad chest, Ryan, and you know it. Stop flexing while you're checking the audio levels. You're an executive in disguise. A sexy, evil executive trying to control our narrative.
Okay, we are rapidly losing the structural integrity of this conversation. We are drifting.
No, we're not. We are perfectly on track. We're talking about the second mask user, Trent Moxley. This is the pivot. This is where the thesis crystallizes.
Yes, Trent Moxley. You're right. The mask gets stolen from Leon. And it doesn't get stolen by a supervillain with a laser beam. It gets stolen by Trent Moxley, who is described in the pitch as a hyper-charismatic 22-year-old manosphere live stream king.
He's the algorithm made flesh. He is a younger, genetically engineered sociopath who has grown up entirely on the internet. And here's the difference between him and Leon, which is so profound. The rules of the mask. Wait, did we say the mask only works if you're sad?
No, we said it works on intrusive thoughts. It removes friction.
Right, right. Friction. So Trent has millions of intrusive thoughts, but he has no friction. He has no shame, no hesitation, no inner conflict. He doesn't even know what social cowardice is because he doesn't believe society is real. He thinks it's just a chat room. So when he puts on the mask, he doesn't just become a chaotic prankster dealing with his own trauma. He becomes a fascist cartoon deity fueled entirely by audience engagement.
Exactly. The scale of the movie completely changes.
Yeah.
Act 3 is an escalation into a cartoon hellscape. Reality starts bending, not just in a single room or a party, but across the entirety of Los Angeles, because the city starts behaving according to attention logic.
Attention logic. This is the smartest fucking thing I've ever read in a script. We have to unpack this.
Riots become perfectly choreographed musical numbers because the crowd knows they are being filmed. Police chases operate on cartoon physics because the helicopters are broadcasting it live. Internet outrage manifests physically in the streets as actual fire. People who aren't even wearing the masks start imitating Big Head's destructive behavior just for the clout. They start destroying their own lives just to get a fraction of the views Trent is getting.
The pitch lays out the defining rule of Act 3. If something is filmed, it becomes more real. Spectatorship overrides physical consequence. The gamification of outrage becomes the actual physics of the universe.
Oh my God, wait, stop the show. Stop talking for a second.
Wait, what's wrong? Did you spill your drink?
No, my mind is completely blown. Think about what this actually means. Think about the sociological mechanics of what Rogen and Goldberg are saying.
Yeah.
Modern culture already rewards masked behavior.
Yes, obviously.
No, listen to me. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Modern culture already rewards masked behavior. The artifact just removes the final barrier. You know what I'm saying? The dopamine loops of social media, the outrage algorithms, the performative cruelty, we are already doing it. We are already living under attention logic. The mask isn't a magical item introducing a new evil. The mask is just the logical conclusion of the internet. That is the secret of the universe. We are already wearing it. We are all big head.
Holy shit, you're right. You're absolutely right. We are all big head. And you know who the biggest big heads are? TikTokers. I'm so sick of a TikTok. It's an entire platform of Trent Moxleys. Everyone just doing this hyper-exaggerated, unblinking, psychopathic performance for an invisible audience of children and corporate bots. It's attention logic in real life. They don't care if they look like idiots. They don't care if they're spreading dangerous misinformation. They don't care if they're eroding the social fabric. They just want the engagement. They were all absolute shits. Every single one of them is a shit, just dancing in front of their ring lights while the actual world burns down outside their window. It makes me furious.
It's a psychological collapse. Nobody trusts reality anymore. We are living in a shared hallucination.
Because reality doesn't pay. Spectacle pays. Emotional dishonesty pays. The algorithm demands blood and dancing.
Which brings us to the climax. Because how do you fight that? How do you fight an algorithm? How does Leon, this sad 44-year-old washed-up, weed-smoking artist, defeat a fascist cartoon deity who is powered by billions of live views? Trent Moxley hosts the largest live stream in human history at the Hollywood Bowl.
And he is literally omnipotent at this point. The engagement has made him a god. His green grin is the size of a skyscraper. His manic eyes replace all the digital billboards across Los Angeles. His voice is coming out of every single phone speaker on the planet simultaneously. Reality is completely operating on nightmare logic. The sky is probably neon green.
And Leon confronts him. Leon puts on his own fake prosthetic mask over the wooden mask one last time, and he walks out onto that stage. But it's not a Marvel movie. It's not a superhero fight. They aren't shooting blue energy beams at each other into a portal in the sky. The document specifies that it is competing fantasies of identity, two men screaming over who gets to define reality through performance.
And the only way Leon can win. Oh God, this part is so beautiful. I'm getting emotional again.
The only way he wins is by breaking the attention logic. He takes the mask off. Publicly.
In front of the entire world. In front of the largest live stream in history. He strips away the armor.
He takes it off. And he just stands there as himself, a tired, average, middle-aged man. No jokes, no persona, no irony, no protective layer of cynicism, and he just admits it. He admits that he is weak. He admits that he is incredibly jealous of younger creators like Trent. He admits that he's frightened, and he is lonely, and he is aging, and he is full of all this pathetic rage that he never bothered to deal with in therapy.
He just tells the truth.
Peplo?
In a world completely saturated by performance, he refuses the fantasy. He commits to the ultimate act of rebellion. Absolute sincerity.
Well, at mask. Trent's mask, it starts cracking. Because the only thing, the mask, the algorithm, the ego, the performance, cannot metabolize is genuine vulnerability. Honest self-awareness is the one thing it cannot survive. It starves without the friction of ego.
That is so beautiful. It's so fucking beautiful to just stand there naked to the world and admit you're scared. In a post-ironic internet culture where earnestness is treated as cringe, he just stands there and is sincere.
It is, because it's so incredibly hard to do. I'm terrified. I'm so terrified of getting older. Every day I wake up and my joints hurt a little more, my back aches, and I don't understand the slang anymore, and I feel like I'm just screaming into a void on this microphone. I'm so scared of being alone. I'm so scared that this deep dive is the only thing I have, and if I stop being funny, if I stop being insightful, people will just turn it off and forget I ever existed. I don't want to be Leon. I don't want to be obsolete. I just want someone to listen to me.
Oh, sweetie, give me your arm. Just reach across the table. Look at me. You are a beautiful fucking disaster, okay? You are a brilliant, beautiful disaster, and you are never going to be obsolete to me. We are in this booth together. We are peeling back the layers of the human condition. We are doing important work.
We really are. We are explaining things.
Ryan, why did you make us read this? It's too sad, Ryan. You give me this incredibly strong, delicious gin, and you make me look at your broad, distracting shoulders through the glass. And then you make us confront our own mortality and our fear of irrelevance through a Seth Rogen pitch document. What is wrong with you? You're a sick man, Ryan Thomas. You are playing God with our emotions.
He is. He's a visionary, but he's a deeply sick man. He knows what he's doing to us.
Okay, we have to finish this. We have to summarize the ending and get out of here. God, I am exhausted. My soul is completely tired. I feel like I've lived a 1,000 lifetimes in the last hour.
Me too. Okay, the ending. Let's land the plane. The authorities arrive. They lock the cracked, ancient wooden mask away in some dark, bureaucratic government archive, like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. The world goes back to normal, whatever normal is now after living through a cartoon apocalypse. Leon survives. He starts drawing comics again, with pens and paper, but just for a small audience. Real work. No irony, no branding, no engagement metrics, just honest art for the sake of art.
And Marcy, the absolute queen of the movie, asks him if he thinks it's really over, if the threat is gone. And Leon looks at her and says, no, I think people are going to spend the next 100 years trying to invent worse versions of it.
And then the final shot of the pitch. We are in a teenager's bedroom. A random teenage boy is sitting in the dark, illuminated only by his phone screen. He opens up a brand new, highly anticipated face filter app. The filter glitches for a fraction of a second, and in his reflection on the screen, just for a single frame, we see the giant green grin smash cut to black.
It's chilling. It is absolutely chilling, because the technology is the mask now. The Rogen and Goldberg thesis is laid completely bare for the audience. The mask was never about freedom. It was never about liberation. It's about the terrifying, world-ending consequences of wish fulfillment without emotional maturity.
It's a tragedy about people who confuse their carefully curated, algorithmically approved personas for their actual selves. Hidden inside a comedy with jokes about weed pens and exploding drones, which is exactly why if this pitch were ever actually produced and made into a film, it would instantly be a cult classic. It would define a generation's anxiety.
Unquestionably, it's too smart for the studios.
So, as we wrap up this incredibly emotional, heavily intoxicated, wildly profound journey, I want to leave you, the listener, with a question, a real question to mull over. We talked about how the mask operates as a feed, pulling out your darkest intrusive thoughts and removing the friction. So think about it. If you found that ancient wooden mask in your basement and you put it on right now, what ugly, petty, intrusive thought of yours would manifest first? And how quickly would you realize that your ultimate, unrestrained wish fulfillment is actually your own personal hell?
That's deep, man. That is so deeply unsettling. I'm going to be thinking about that all night.
Thank you. I try, and please, I am begging you, before I pass out from the botanical truth serum Ryan gave us, go to YouTube, like and subscribe to Ham OTR. Just do it. Don't be Trent Moxley. Make my aging process a little easier to swallow. Validate my existence.
Yes. Subscribe to the channel. And Ryan Thomas, you need to bring more of whatever this gin was into the booth right now. Actually, bring the bottle and, maybe just sit here on this chair or, on my lap. Whatever works for you, Ryan. Just get in here and let me look at your shoulders up close.
This has been Off the Record. We're officially logging off. Good night. I love you guys. Stay safe out there.
Good night, you beautiful shits.